that the levels of activity in Kenya compared to the rest of the region, Kenya is slowly losing out to Tanzania. And partially because of what we have been talking about. Like, for instance, you have to upgrade your airport in Nairobi. We are dragging our feet while our neighbors are coming up with these big airports. So in future, when people are having international meetings, a tourist will ask himself or herself, do I go to Nairobi where I may get a leaking airport, or I go to a neighboring country where there's an international airport? However, when you look at Kenya's foreign policy, actually in the last 2 years, in my view, President Ruto has done very well in coming up with an invigorated foreign policy, especially the one on economic diplomacy. And you've seen the Prime Cabinet Secretary the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs going the extra mile to position Kenya as an FDI destination. And it's interesting that even from our regional countries that have not invested in Kenya, now they are coming up. For instance, one of the biggest cement companies from Tanzania called Amsons is actually interested in coming to Kenya. They want to come and start producing cement in Kenya. And from media reports, they're going to invest about $400 million US. When you're talking about $400 million US, that is a big deal, especially when it's coming from a neighboring country in Tanzania. And in my view, these are the things that we now need to publicize, so that when you're looking for FDI, we do not just go to the traditional places, maybe UK or US. We know that there is Amsons in Tanzania, which can invest $400 million US in Kenya. There could be a giant player in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Burundi that can come and invest in Kenya. And you know, now for a group like that, when they're coming to invest in the cement industry in Kenya, then it will make this affordable housing. It may be a huge success, because you know cement is one of those key things. And in my view, as a nation, we should be very proactive in, number one, marketing Kenya as an FDI destination. Number two, creating opportunities for Kenyans to work abroad. It's very disappointing that while because of globalization of markets and production, there is job opportunities in, say, the Middle East, in the UK, and some people in Kenya keep on complaining that why is the administration not creating jobs in Kenya, but trying to push Kenyans to go and work outside. And in my view, the responsibility of the administration is to create jobs. It doesn't matter whether the jobs are in Kenya or they are abroad. Because for somebody who has been sleeping on an empty stomach for the last 1 year, there's a job in Canada where they're going to get paid. Then you tell him, wait a minute, wait for President Ruto to create a job for you in Kenya, but meanwhile just go sit under a mango tree and drink water. And there's an opportunity in Italy. What are we talking about? And you know, the people discouraging Kenya from going to work abroad, they're doing it from five-star hotels. I'd like the two leaders, Stephen and Geoffrey, to really encourage Kenyans to go and work abroad. You remember at some stage that the US had a Kenyan-American president. You remember at some stage in the UK, there was a prime minister of Indian origin. Would it be not so nice that at some stage you'll have the prime minister in the UK with Kenyan NDA, the US president with Kenyan DNA, the New Zealand president with Kenyan DNA? Why can't we do all this? Because we are told Kenya's human capital at the international market sells like a hot cake. Why are you not making it possible for all of us to go and work?
Mheshimiwa Ruto, same to you in terms of when you look at the international scope, even as the state of the nation is not only local but also international, how are you performing, and will this foreign policy, in your opinion, be able to ensure that Kenya moves a notch higher, whereas we still have challenges that we are facing here at home?
Yeah, of course, the